Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. So I'm back from California, and specifically that Turlock swap meet. I was able to pick up a couple of things that I've been looking for. I've been looking for some old school thick metal files. They're a 1/4 inch thick. Most of them seem to be kind of a medium. I'm going to turn these into slapping files for metalwork. I saw a couple of these demonstrated, thought, you know, I'd like to give that a shot, and my dog just peed on the floor. Piper do. Bad. I've got these 3 files. I'm going to go ahead and bend them, heat them up with an oxygen acetylene torch, and see what I end up with. I thought I'd take you along and see what the result is. Check it out. So I've got 2 of these already made up, and I got to looking, and I didn't have good video of the torch part of this, and I thought, you know, that's going to be kind of an important step to review for the video. So anyway, this is going to be all about getting the torch action in here. I am happy with the results that I do have with my other 2 so far. I think this one's my favorite so far. This one is going to be a little bit different in that it's wider than my other 2 files, so that'll be a different experience as well, I think. So anyway, as far as my layout, I thought that balance could be, you know, a consideration, and you notice I cut back on this one to make it easier to hold on to. So, you know, that had an effect on the balance point of this one, and I don't know, it's something that I'm gonna carry over to this one here if I get it right here. This is it's 14 inches, so you figure dead center right now is 7, and then I'm going to give myself about an inch and a half for that kick up. So we'll see what that does for me. And I'm going to put these tick marks on the side, and that will help me reference things when I'm got the torch going. And I know that I'm going to end up bobbing off. This is going to be my striking face right there. I'm going to go back and bob this off and round this piece off here. So that's going to be some weight loss right there. So anyway, if I get it close to the balance point, that's fine. And if I don't think it's going to kill me either way. So there's one thing that I'm missing here. I'm missing my square. I originally was getting fancy by building a metal jig to heat these things up with, and then I blew it apart basically on my first go. Decided, you know, why not just go ahead and put it in the vise and heat it up and knock it over. There's no jig required. I was just making things way harder than what they really needed to be. Okie doke. So there it is. Pretty simple stuff. This should work out pretty good. Let's try it out on the car. So here's a spot that I think I can use as a little test example to see how my new slapper file is going to do me. So I do have my my wood kit is already installed in my car. Would have been a lot easier to get to these spots if it wasn't in the car, but anyway, it is what it is. I've got a main wood component that goes right through this area here. I am able to get some backup on this with this sort of dolly. I'm having to use the back side, and the contour fits good for up in this area right here. So I'm going to try to do a little exercise dolly on with the slapper file up from behind. I'm going to get this thing in there and see what happens. You can see where I'm really trying to work this right here. My damage I'm trying to pull out with this file. This right here, yeah, it's getting, I can still get my dolly behind it, but that's about the limit of where I can get my dolly at right now. But there's plenty of work there to do. So I believe I'm getting happy with regards to you know, my effort of picking up those files, and been doing some playing around here, and I'm noticing that my high points are getting much less defined. They're spreading out, so it's my high spots are moving out as I'm working on them with my file. I probably need to do. I do need to do some more learning with regards to on and off dolly. I don't know if I'm doing it correctly, but I'm trying to keep my dolly here toward the center in order to keep pressure applied to this low middle, and I'm working the perimeters that you know, were really they really showed themselves the first time I hit it, you know, with the file to, you know, show you my my highs and lows. You remember they were much more defined than they are right now, and so I believe that I'm pushing that down and I'm pulling this out. I can't fight the notion that I need to get back here with the hammer on the back side and work this out a little bit. I just don't have a lot of faith in the chance that this slap file is going to be able to pull all that out, but that might be my own lack of knowledge and lack of technique. So I'll get back at it when I get serious about knocking dents out, and hopefully by then I've educated myself a little bit better. But I'm going to go ahead and call this a success for right now. I do see some improvement in this area. So this file went a little better than my first one did. Being a straight file, I went ahead and tapered it on the sides, and I went ahead and dressed it up. I believe that the balance is pretty good. My angle is a little more aggressive than the other one, and that was kind of by design, so I can kind of dial in as to what's more comfortable. I'm going to give this one a shot and see how it works. I'm not going to do a whole bunch of work with it because I'm kind of just goofing off right now and delaying another project. So I'm going to check this out and see what my thoughts are, and then wrap this one up. But if you're wanting to get into a slap file and you get into it for cheap, you might want to think about doing this. Keep your eye open at yard sales and swap meets and get you a little bit of heat to make the bend. The MAP gas by itself was just not enough, and my oxygen acetylene rig, it produced a lot more heat. What ended up being most, as far as my lessons learned on this, was I put the small torch with the MAP gas on one side of the file, and on the other side I used my oxygen acetylene torch, and together those things got this dude cherry red, and I was able to bend it a lot easier. So, you know, unless you have a torch that's putting a lot of heat out, you might have to double up like that to get the job done. So anyway, that was kind of a learning lesson for myself, and I believe that's how I would go about it next time around right off the bat. I've got a bow internal cross member support that goes along here, so I'm not able to get, I got a high spot that goes all the way up here, and as I'm going to check my progress and trying to shoot across, I feel that pushing me up, so I'm not able to shoot all the way across. So my guide, as far as like my sanding effort to guide my high spots, is being kind of incorrectly influenced by this little bump that goes up alongside here. So this whole exercise is kind of concept only. I'm trying to see the advantages of the slap files for the first time, so may not be procedurally correct in all ways, but I believe it's enough to help me decide if I want these in my life or not. And I do like the results. I can tell that I am making some headway. Thanks for watching.